Hi everyone. So today's topic will focus on the general anesthesia, about its mechanism and pharmacokinetics. I'll try to explain this topic in as simple terms as possible, so that it'll be easy for everyone to understand. It was one of my difficult topics while I was doing my MBBS, so I felt like doing it on this topic specifically. So let's dive into it. Whenever we talk about the mechanism of general anesthesia, the first thing that clicks for us is the minimum alveolar concentration. To keep it in a simple terms, that means that the percentage of concentration we need for a person to make him immobilize. So it's a concentration of that drug we need to make a person immobilize. So that's minimum alveolar concentration in a simple term. So if you look into it, when there is a decreased concentration of it, there is a high in potency. Potency in a, it is nothing but the strength, like how strong it is. The example is halogen. Take an example of coffee. And in the opposite way, when there is an increase in the concentration, there's a decrease in the potency. The example for it is nitric oxide. You'll understand why we are talking specifically about this one, about the potency and the induction. So based on the potency and the induction, it'll be easy for any anesthesiologist to give a medication to the patient, about its penetrance and how fast it acts and how strong it is. Based on that, it'll be easy to differentiate like which one to give and which one to not, and how fast it acts. It helps to differentiate it. That's why we need to understand what is minimum alveolar concentration and the induction, potency, or a blood gas partition coefficient, or everything about it. Okay, so you know the site of action in the brain and in the spinal cord. In the spinal cord, it acts as a site for immobility, and for the brain, it helps with the unconsciousness. Okay, so when we dive into the pharmacokinetics of inhaled anesthesia, normally when you inhale a drug, it goes to the alveoli, then to the blood, and then to the brain. So here, after it, the faster it reaches to the brain, the rapid the induction is, in a simple terms. So that it means that it rapidly activates the drug to make you fall asleep. That's what induction is. A person goes from awake to sleep. So how fast the induction makes you to fall into the sleep is the rapid induction. So now let's look at the other one, is the blood gas partition coefficient. It is nothing but it talks about the solubility of agent in the blood. So when we say when the low solubility, that means we are talking in the blood, how soluble it is in the blood. So when we say it's a low solubility, it means that it is not dissolving that fast that we need. So when we look at the alveoli, and here is the blood, and ignore my diagram, I'm very bad at it. So if when it is a low solubility in the blood, it means that the concentration here in the alveoli will be high, and in the brain also, as it's not getting easily dissolved here, it will go into the brain, and it has a rapid action towards it. So that's what it's trying to explain us. So when you have a low solubility in the blood, it has a higher alveolar concentration, and it goes fast to the brain. It increases the concentration. With this, as we said earlier, the faster it goes to the brain, the faster it makes you fall asleep, which is induction. So it has a rapid induction, and the recovery will also be fast as it reaches earlier to the brain, just because it has a low solubility in the blood. So in the opposite way, if you look at, if it is highly soluble in the blood, that means that the drug is easily dissolving into the blood. So you need more of that medication. So the lesser concentration you'll have it in the alveoli. So because it's dissolving very fastly, like it has a higher solubility, the drug is going fast, so from the alveoli towards it. So that's what it says. So when you have a high solubility in the blood, it means that the alveolar concentration is very less. So that indirectly means that, I mean directly, it means that the alveolar concentration will rise slowly as the drug keeps dissolving into the blood. As it dissolving into the blood very fastly, it has to take more of the drug, and the lesser it will be available in the alveoli. And as it's dissolving more into the blood, it has a less way to go to the brain, because it is just dissolving into the blood. So you need more and more of it, and so the concentration will be very less in the opposite, in the either way, in the alveoli, in the brain, just because it is easily dissolving into the blood. So that's what it's trying to say. So the just because it has a higher solubility in the blood, the concentration in the alveoli is less, and it has a lesser brain concentration. So this means that it has a slower induction. It doesn't reach to the brain as fast, just because it is the drug is just dissolving into the blood. It's not going into the main site for it to start actioning. So that's why we say that when we have a high solubility of blood, we say that there is a slow induction and recovery. So the example for this one is halothane. If you look into it, it is halothane. And the other way, and the another thing we need to be focused about is the blood flow. The more the blood flow you have, the more the drug will be taken by the blood. So just now we spoke like about the high solubility, that if the drug dissolves very fast into the blood, the lesser the concentration you have in the alveoli, so the slower the induction, because it goes very slow to the brain. That is what. And in the opposite way, if you look at it, when there is a decrease in the cardiac output, there is an increase in alveolar concentration, which is nothing but the faster induction. And regarding the distribution also, when we talk about it, it says that highly perfused organ quickly equilibrate. So the highly perfused organs are heart and the liver are the highly perfused organs, so it will equilibrate very quickly. When it goes to the fat, it stores the drug and delays the recovery a lot, just because it is not that highly perfused one. And the elimination, specifically when we are talking about the inhaled anesthesia, the elimination is with the exhalation. Okay, so this is in a simple term I've tried to keep it. And if you have any specific topics regarding this general anesthesia, if you want me to specifically talk about halothane or nitric oxide or ketamine or anything like that in detail, just let me know in the comments. I'm sorry, just let me know in the comments. And yep, have a good day.